this episode we're going back to the trails and we're going to one of these really epic trails, and that is Angel's Landing in Zion National Park. This trail is absolutely spectacular. It's one of those amazing trails. If you love really picturesque scenery, then this trail is just absolutely beautiful. Now, there's a number of Instagrammers, YouTubers out there that really hype up the fear element of this hike and make it look so dangerous. Many of it will label it as one of the most dangerous hikes in America. Let me put your fears at bay here. If you're a cautious hiker, this is quite manageable. It's something where you just need to exercise a good amount of caution and you should generally be fine. If you're a relatively good hiker, this should be no problem. It's not a very strenuous hike either. I found it to be quite manageable. It's only about 7 kilometers and the elevation gain is not that much. So it's nothing too crazy in terms of elevation gain. And I found that there were a lot of older people who were actually hiking this trail and that managed quite well. Now, it is a permitted hike, so that's just one thing to be mindful of. You need to apply for those permits well in advance. However, I found that it's much more easier to get the permits for Angel's Landing than it is to get the permits for like the subway hike, which I found really hard to get because every time I was applying for that hike, I continuously got rejected. However, this hike was one of those hikes that was relatively easy to get. You don't need to pick up a permit. They email you the permit, and it's good enough if you just keep it on your phone or if you take a screenshot in case your cell phone signal is spotty on the day and if you get asked to show your permit. But with that said, let's jump right into today's video. I'm going to take you through how to get there and what the hike is like. And if you have any comments, be sure to drop it down in the comment section below. Angel's Landing is about a 7 kilometers round trip with roughly 550 meters of elevation gain. And this is from the Grotto to the summit and then all the way back. Getting to the trailhead, it's relatively straightforward. All you're going to do is get onto the Zion shuttle and get off at bus stop number 6, which is the Grotto. So ideally, even if you're not a morning person, you want to try and get there as early as possible so you can avoid the crowds, get cooler temperatures, and so you can have a much better experience hiking this trail because it does get super crowded as you get later into the day. This trail does turn uphill pretty fast, but it's all on paved, steady switchbacks, so nothing technical, but you don't want to burn your legs out here. Try and save up all that energy for when you reach Scout Lookout, because that's when things get a little bit more technical compared to the first half of the hike. So hiking poles aren't really needed on this trail. It's paved most of the way, and once you hit Angel's Landing, then you probably want to keep your hands free to be able to hold on to the chains. So once you reach Scout Lookout, that's a good place to take some rest, have some refreshments, use the restroom if you need to. There is one up there, and then you can head on to the Angel's Landing trail. Alright, so this is where all the fun begins. This is the chain section of Angel's Landing. It's about 1 kilometer long, but it is quite exposed. So this is the part where you really want to exercise caution and make sure you're taking it easy and making sure that you maintain your balance. Just something to be mindful of. There are quite a few people that will be going down, so you want to try and make way for them, but try and find your spots. Pick out those spots where the trail gets wider and it gives you adequate space to let people pass. Usually I found this is not a problem, especially if you start early in the morning. There'll be more than enough space and there won't be that many crowds up on this trail. There are some areas of this trail that's really exposed, however there's more than enough place for your footing, so not something to be too concerned about. Like I said, if you're cautious, you should be pretty good. Enjoy the views because they are quite spectacular from up here. So as you can see, this trail doesn't really have much tree cover and there isn't really much shade either. So if you're going to be hitting this trail at midday, you're going to be in for quite an experience. So make sure you bring enough water and a sun hat as well. Online, Angel's Landing might look like a death-defying tightrope, but in person, I would say, yes, it's exposed, and you must respect it, but I think with dry rocks, good shoes, and patience, it's far less dramatic than the clickbait that you're accustomed to. And if you're uncomfortable, then at Scout Lookout, you've already earned quite a huge view, then choose what's right for your nervous system. There's no ego required, you've already done pretty well to get up to Scout Lookout, and you can probably call it a day there. But if you're feeling up for it, then don't let the clickbait turn you away. So if Angel's Landing is on your list, I hope this video gave you the confidence to plan it your way. As always, thanks so much for watching and I hope to see you on the next epic trail.